Don't enter 2026 hoping for better. Enter it ready, clear, and in control. If you're watching this, there's a part of you that knows it's time to stop repeating the same cycle every year, starting strong, burning out and ending with regret. This time, you don't need hype, you need a system, a plan that actually fits into your life, not one that sounds good for a week and fades by February. This is your 365-day game plan, not for a perfect year, just a real one. The kind where you build steady routines, fix off days without quitting, and stop living on motivation alone. You'll learn how to make daily progress even when you feel low, how to adjust when life hits hard, and how to stay consistent when no one's watching. By the time 2026 arrives, you won't need to explain anything to anyone. You'll know you showed up for yourself every day. Stay with this video. This might be the last year you ever feel behind again. Chapter 1. Plan your year before it starts. People ask why some years feel strong and some years disappear without much to show for them. The answer is usually not talent or luck or intelligence. The answer is preparation. Most people walk into a new year the same way they walk into a random day. No clear direction, no clear focus, no clear reason for how they spend their time. Then they wonder why the year controls them instead of the other way around. If you do not plan your year before it starts, the year will plan you. Days will fill up, problems will show up, other people's priorities will take space, and before long months are gone. That is not because you are weak. It is because you are human. Humans respond to what is urgent unless they decide in advance what matters. A year is not mysterious. It is simply a long series of ordinary days. Each day asks the same question. What will you do with me? If you have no answer ready, the day will answer for you. It will hand you distractions, stress, and unfinished tasks. Planning your year is how you answer that question before it is asked. When you plan your year, you are not predicting the future. You are choosing direction. You are deciding what deserves your energy and what does not. That choice removes confusion. Confusion drains energy. Clarity restores it. Think about how it feels to wake up without a plan. There is a quiet tension. Your mind starts racing. Small decisions feel heavy. Time slips away early. Now compare that to waking up knowing what this year is about. There is calm. There is focus. Your body feels steadier. You move with purpose. That difference is not motivation. That difference is structure. People wait for motivation, but motivation follows clarity, not the other way around. When you know what kind of year you are building, your actions make more sense. You stop arguing with yourself so much. You stop asking, what should I do next? You already decided. Planning your year starts with honesty. Honest about where you are. Honest about what you avoided last year. Honest about what cost you time, energy, or peace. That honesty may feel uncomfortable, but it is freeing. Pretending costs more than truth ever will. A strong year begins by asking simple questions. What must change? What must improve? What must stop? These questions are not dramatic, they are practical. They turn vague hopes into clear intentions. Many people say they want a better year, but they never define what better means. Better health, better income, better focus, better relationships. Each one requires different daily actions. Without definition, effort gets scattered. Scattered effort produces weak results. Planning your year means breaking big hopes into daily behavior. A year is not built in January or December. It is built on regular days when no one is watching. Planning gives those days meaning. Some people avoid planning because they fear failure. They think writing things down makes them accountable. And it does. But accountability is not pressure. It is guidance. It keeps you from drifting too far off course. There is relief in having a plan, because it reduces mental noise. Your brain no longer has to decide everything in the moment. Decisions drain energy. Decisions made in advance protect it. When you plan your year, you create boundaries. Boundaries are not limitations. They are protection. They protect your time. They protect your focus. They protect your future self from burnout and regret. A plan does not make life rigid, it makes life manageable. Without a plan, every interruption feels like a crisis. With a plan, interruptions are easier to handle because you know what matters most. You do not need a perfect plan. You need a clear one. Perfection delays action. Clarity encourages. A simple plan that you follow beats a perfect plan you never use. Planning your year is an act of self-respect. It says your time matters. Your energy matters. Your life is not random. That message changes how you show up. When the year begins without a plan, people live in reaction mode. Emails decide their mornings. Problems decide their mood. Other people decide their schedule. That creates frustration, not because life is unfair, but because direction was missing. A planned year still has challenges, but challenges feel different when you expect it to work. You are not surprised that effort is required. You are prepared for it. There is confidence that comes from knowing where you are going. Confidence is not loud. It is steady. It shows up in how you speak and how you decide. That confidence grows when you see yourself following a plan even on difficult days. Planning your year helps you measure progress. Without a plan, you feel busy, but unsure. With a plan, you can see movement. Even small progress feels rewarding when it aligns with a bigger direction. People often say they lack discipline. What they usually lack is direction. Discipline is easier when the path is clear. Confusion makes discipline feel like force, remembering and pressure. A planned year gives you something to return to when you drift. Everyone drifts. That is human. The difference is whether you have something solid to come back to. When you plan your year, you reduce regret. Regret often comes from realizing time was spent without intention. Planning turns time into investment. There is also peace in knowing that not everything fits your plan, and that is okay. A plan helps you say no without guilt. Saying no protects your yes. A year planned in advance creates momentum early. Early momentum builds belief. Belief makes consistency easier. Consistency changes lives. You are not planning to control life. You are planning to lead yourself. Leadership begins with self-direction. Planning your year is a quiet decision that changes how the year feels. It changes how stress lands. It changes how setbacks are handled. It changes how wins are appreciated. When you sit down and plan, you are talking to your future self. You are saying, I cared enough to prepare for you. That builds trust with yourself. Trust is powerful. A year without a plan often ends with the same thoughts. Where did the time go? Why did I not do what mattered? A year with a plan ends with clarity. You know what you gave your energy to. Planning is not about control. It is about intention. Intention gives shape to effort. Effort without shape leads to exhaustion. If you want the next year to feel different, then the preparation must be different. Same approach produces same results. A new plan creates new outcomes. When you plan your year, you create a standard for your days. Standards guide behavior. Without standards, moods take over. Planning before the year starts is an advantage. It puts you ahead mentally. While others react, you act. There is something grounding about knowing what this year stands for. It steadies you when distractions pull. It reminds you why showing up matters. A year is too valuable to leave to chance. Your life is not a practice run. It is happening now. Plan your year with patience. Plan it with honesty. Plan it with belief that small daily effort adds up. When you enter a year with a plan, you walk in prepared, not hopeful. Prepared beats hopeful every time. And when you reach the end of the year, you will not wonder if you tried. You will know that knowledge brings pride. Quiet pride. Earned pride. Do not enter 2026 hoping it will be different. Enter it knowing you decided how it would be lived. Chapter 2. Break the year into daily actions. Most people make big goals for the year and then feel stuck 3 weeks in. Not because they're lazy, not because they don't want it, but because they never turned those big ideas into small daily actions. A big goal looks exciting on paper, but real life happens in days. If your plan doesn't live inside your day, it doesn't live at all. You don't need more goals. You need systems. You need something you can repeat without needing to feel perfect. The person who wins at the end of the year is not the one who had the best January. It's the one who did the smallest things the longest. It starts by making a X in thinking. Instead of asking, what do I want this year? Ask, what am I willing to do every day to make that happen? That question will bring you back to reality. It will force you to make your goals real and actionable. Because if it can't be broken down into a daily decision, it's too vague. Daily actions build identity. Every time you follow through on a daily habit, you teach your mind who you are becoming. You're no longer just someone who wants results. You're someone who follows through. That's how confidence is built, by watching yourself do what you said you would do, even when it's not exciting. It's not about overwhelming yourself with a list of 20 tasks every day. It's about identifying the few things that, if done consistently, would move your life forward in the direction you actually want. And it doesn't have to take hours. Most of the actions that truly change your life take less time than the scrolling you do when you're bored. You want to be healthier? What are the 3 daily actions you'll commit to? Not the perfect plan. Not what sounds good. What will you do on an average Tuesday when things are normal and life is a little boring? That's the test. Can you build a system that works not just on good days, but on regular days? You want to grow your income. What are the things you'll do every day that help you learn more, build more, connect more, offer more value? That's where change happens. Not in a weekend of motivation, not in a few hours of hustle, but in showing up day after day with a clear focus. A 365-day game plan is about consistency, not intensity. It's better to read 10 pages a day than try to finish 5 books in one weekend. It's better to do 10 push-ups a day for a year than burn out after 2 weeks of extreme workout. It's better to write for 10 minutes a day than wait for the perfect time to write your whole story. The daily system should fit into your life, not some ideal version of it. You're going to have long days, busy days, tired days. So don't build your habits for your best days, build them for your real days. What can you stick with when you're tired? What can you do when you're unmotivated? That's your real plan. Here's the key. Write it down, don't keep it in your head. Make it clear. Be specific. Drink more water is not specific. Drink 3 bottles of water every day is exercise more is vague. Walk 20 minutes every morning before work is clear. Save money is broad. Put $5 in a savings account every day is actionable. When you make it specific, it becomes measurable. And when it's measurable, it becomes easier to track. That creates progress. And progress, even small progress, is motivating. You don't need to feel like you're winning every day. You just need to feel like you're moving forward. Even 1 inch, even 1 step. When you break the year into daily actions, you stop living in anxiety about the future. You stop saying, I have so much to do, and start asking, what needs to be done today? That shift gives you control back. You can't live all 365 days at once. You only live one. So focus on that one. One of the most powerful questions you can ask yourself each night is, did I do what I said I'd do today? And if the answer is no, don't judge yourself. Just ask, why not? What got in the way? What can I do differently tomorrow? That reflection will help you refine the plan. Because a game plan isn't something you make once and forget. You adjust it as you go. You might start the year thinking a habit will work well, and then realize after 2 weeks that it's too much. That's okay. Adjust it. Make it smaller. Make it easier to stick with. There is no shame in starting small. There is only progress in being consistent. What's hard at the beginning becomes easier with time. The first few days of a new habit feel unnatural, but then your brain begins to expect it. You start doing it with less resistance. You start doing it even on days when you don't feel like it. That's when it becomes part of who you are. Some people chase inspiration, others build systems. Guess who gets the results? It's not the person who waits for the perfect time. It's the person who breaks the goal into daily behaviors and just sticks with it, even when it's boring, even when it's hard, even when no one is clapping for them. Every day matters. That's not a phrase. That's a fact. If you waste a day, you're not just wasting time. You're building the habit of wasting time. But when you use a day well, you build a foundation, and one good day can lead to 2, then 5, then 10. That's how momentum is built. Slowly, quietly, daily. The daily actions you choose should reflect your priorities. Don't build a routine that impresses people. Build one that aligns with your goals. You're not performing. You're building a life. Choose actions that match the kind of future you want to live in. One thing that helps is keeping a simple checklist. It doesn't need to be fancy. Just a piece of paper, a notebook, a phone note. Write the 3-5 actions you want to do every day. And every night, check off the ones you did. That small act builds accountability. It also creates a record. You can look back after a week or a month and see your effort. That matters. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. If your system is clear and doable, your chances of success rise. If your system is vague or too hard to maintain, you'll give up, even with strong motivation. So think about your year as a series of choices, not big once-in-a-while choices, but small daily ones. Will you write today or scroll? Will you walk or sit? Will you save or spend? Will you read or zone out? These small choices create your story. In the end, success is not about pressure, it's about pattern. Patterns create outcomes. The pattern of showing up daily is what makes a life you're proud of. So break the year down, make it small enough to hold in your hand. And when you wake up each day, don't try to live the whole year. Just follow through on the few simple things you promised yourself. Do that, and by the time 2026 arrives, you'll be walking into it stronger, clearer, and more proud of who you've become. Chapter 3. Build days that do not waste time. Most people don't realize how quickly days pass until they look back and wonder where all the time went. A whole day disappears and nothing meaningful got done. Not because they didn't care, not because they lacked goals, but because their time was spent on things that didn't truly matter. That's what it means to waste a day. Not that you did nothing, but that you didn't use your hours in a way that actually moved your life forward. You don't need to be busy to be productive. In fact, many of the busiest people feel the least progress. Constant motion isn't the same as real direction. Building days that don't waste time starts by being clear about what you want your time to do for you. If you don't decide how to use your day, everything else around you will. Notifications, emails, other people's needs, random tasks, they will flood your attention before you've even had a chance to take control. Waking up with no plan is one of the easiest ways to lose time. Without direction, the first thing you check pulls you into its world. One message turns into 20 minutes of replies. One scroll becomes 30 minutes of distraction. Suddenly, it's noon, and you're already playing catch-up. That stress you feel in the middle of the day, that feeling that you're falling behind, it starts with the first few choices of the morning. If you want to stop wasting time, the first step is to start owning your morning. Not with a complicated routine, but with one clear action. Know your top priorities before the day begins. When you wake up knowing exactly what deserves your focus, it becomes easier to say no to distractions. Your brain doesn't have to negotiate every decision. It just follows the direction you've already set. You don't need to do everything in a day. You need to do the right things. The actions that align with your bigger goal, the ones that build your skills, protect your energy, improve your relationships, and grow your character. These actions aren't always urgent. That's why they get pushed aside. But they are the ones that actually build the kind of life you want. A useful way to check if you're wasting time is to ask yourself at the end of the day, did today bring me closer to who I want to be? That question won't always feel good, but it's honest. And that honesty is how you get better. You don't fix what you won't fake. You don't improve what you won't measure. Building a day that doesn't waste time also means limiting your distractions. That doesn't mean cutting out all entertainment or relaxing moments. It means creating space in your day where your mind is fully present. Deep work and shallow work are not the same. You can spend 3 hours multitasking and get less done than 1 hour of focused effort. Protecting blocks of time where you focus deeply will always give you more return than scattered attention. You also have to understand your pattern. Everyone has certain times of day when they think better, move better, and focus better. Use those hours well. Don't give your best energy to your least important tasks. That's one of the biggest silent time wasters, using your strongest hours to do things that don't actually require your best. Stop trying to be productive 16 hours a day. Instead, aim to be fully intentional for a few focused blocks. Most progress comes from a few strong hours, used wisely and without distraction. The rest of the day should support your focus, not destroy it. That means taking real breaks, not half breaks where you check your phone and overstimulate your mind, but real mental rest. Another part of building better days is removing unnecessary decisions. Every decision takes mental energy. The more decisions you make in a day, the more tired your brain gets, especially when they're meaningless ones. Simplify what you can. Structure your days so you're not constantly deciding what to do next. When you create a rhythm, it reduces decision fatigue and gives your mind more strength for what actually matters. You also need to stop glorifying urgency. Just because something is urgent doesn't mean it's important. Some things can wait. Some things can be delegated. Some things don't need to be done at all. Learn to pause and ask, does this actually matter? If not, let it go. Time is your most limited resource. Don't spend it proving that you're always available. Start replacing time-wasting habits with purpose-driven ones. Even 15 minutes a day of something meaningful adds up. 15 minutes of reading, 15 minutes of writing, 15 minutes of silence, 15 minutes of conversation with someone who matters. These small choices seem simple, but they shape how you feel about yourself. They build a sense of control and clarity. Also, don't mistake being busy for being effective. Filling your day with activity might feel productive, but what are those activities really doing? Are they helping you grow? Are they building skills? Are they moving you closer to a goal? Or are they just keeping you distracted enough not to feel behind? Wasting time doesn't always look like lying on the couch. Sometimes it looks like over-planning, over-checking, overthinking. Efficiency isn't about doing more. It's about doing what matters most with focus and intention. Start tracking how you use your hours. You don't have to obsess over every detail, but get honest with yourself. How much time goes into things that give nothing back? That reflection will help you start cutting what drains you and keeping what builds you. Respecting your time means respecting yourself. When you waste your own time, you tell yourself that your goals can wait, that your peace can wait, that your progress can wait. But it can't. Not if you want to live with direction and meaning. People often say, I don't have time. What they usually mean is, I didn't use it well. That's not about shame. It's about power. You have more control than you think. But control only works when it's backed by intention. You don't need a perfect system. You just need one that keeps you centered. A clear start to your day. A focus list you trust. Some protected blocks for deep work. A check-in at the end of the day. These simple actions done daily can completely shift how your time feels. Avoid filling your calendar just to feel busy. Leave room for stillness. Leave room to think. Space in your day isn't laziness, it's preparation. It helps you reset, reflect, and return with clarity. And finally, remember that your time is a message. How you use it tells the world what matters to you. But more importantly, it tells yourself what you believe is worth showing up for. Build days that make you feel proud when you go to sleep. Days that weren't perfect but were honest. Days where your time was used on things that mattered, not just tasks, but people, progress, and purpose. When you learn to protect your time, you protect your potential. Don't let another year pass filled with busy days and little progress. Take ownership of your hours, use them wisely, and by the end of the year, you won't need to wonder if you wasted it. You'll know you did. Chapter 4. Follow a plan, even when tired. There will be days when you wake up tired, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally too. Days when your mind feels heavy, your energy feels low, and everything inside you says, take it easy today. On those days, the pull to delay, to pause, to skip the plan you made for yourself feels stronger than usual. And if you follow that feeling every time it shows up, the plan you committed to slowly disappears. Following a plan when you feel great is easy. Following it when you're tired is where growth happens. Because that's when your discipline gets tested. That's when you find out if your habits are built on motivation or commitment. Motivation is temporary. It comes and goes. Commitment is built. It is a choice that is repeated, especially when it's inconvenient. You don't need to be perfect every day. But if you only take action when you're in the mood, you will only make progress on your best days. That's not enough to build something real. Life is full of unpredictable moments. There will be late nights, stress, unexpected problems, and emotional ups and downs. If your routine can't survive those days, it's not strong enough yet. The purpose of a plan isn't just to organize your time, it's to protect your progress. When you're tired, your decisions become emotional. You're more likely to choose comfort. That's human nature. But your goals are not built on comfort. They're built on consistency. A plan gives your day structure, even when your mind doesn't want to cooperate. Some people think they need to go all out every single day. That's not the point. What matters is showing up in some way, no matter how small. Even a reduced version of your plan is better than breaking the chain entirely. If you usually work out for 30 minutes, do 10. If you usually write a page, write a paragraph. You're not trying to win the whole game that day. You're just proving to yourself that you don't quit. There's a quiet confidence that comes from knowing you followed through when it was hard. Not when it was easy. Not when everything lined up, but when it didn't. That kind of discipline builds something deeper than results. It builds self-trust, and self-trust is the real fuel behind long-term change. Most people give up, not because the goal is too hard, but because they don't feel like the effort matters. They miss one day, then 3, then 2 weeks. The guilt builds, and the plan feels distant. That's why it's so important to stay connected to it, especially on low-energy days. You don't need to do it perfectly. You just need to keep the pattern alive. Low energy does not mean you're broken. It means you're human. But humans can still act with intention. Even small acts of discipline keep you moving. Keep the rhythm going. A skipped day can turn into a skipped week if you let it. The best way to avoid that spiral is to act before you feel ready. It helps to have a minimum version of your plan ready. Not every day needs to be your best, but every day needs something. A low-effort fallback keeps your identity connected to the plan. It keeps the habit in motion. This is how you create momentum, not by doing everything at once, but by refusing to quit completely. Sometimes the hardest part of following a plan when tired is the mental resistance. You tell yourself stories like "this won't make a difference," or "I'll do double tomorrow." These sound logical in the moment, but they often lead to delay and regret. The truth is, something always beats nothing. A 5-minute effort is 5 minutes of progress. It means you stayed in the game. On the days when you do feel tired, don't focus on the whole plan. Just focus on the next small step. Break it down. Don't think about the entire workout. Just putting on your shoes. Don't think about the entire task. Just opening your notebook. Once you start, momentum can kick in. The hardest part is usually beginning. Also, don't be afraid to simplify. Your plan is not a punishment. It's a tool to help you stay on track. Some days will require adjustments. That's not failure. That's flexibility. But adjusting doesn't mean abandoning. There's a big difference. Adjusting means you still follow through, just at a lower level. Abandoning means you throw it away. The goal of your plan isn't to be perfect. It's to stay present. It's there to help you act with purpose, even when your feelings try to lead you in the other direction. Over time, following through when tired actually makes you stronger. Not just physically, but mentally. You stop negotiating with excuses. You start leading your day, even when it's tough. This kind of discipline carries over into everything. If you can keep a promise to yourself when you're tired, you can keep a promise when life is unpredictable. That makes you more reliable, more focused, more grounded, and people notice that. But more importantly, you notice it. You begin to respect yourself more deeply. Respect isn't built through words, it's built through action. Every time you do what you said you would do, especially when it's difficult, you send a message to yourself: I follow through. I don't disappear when things get hard. That's what builds strength from the inside out. Following a plan when tired also creates emotional stability, because when you avoid the plan, it usually creates guilt, stress, or self-doubt. But when you do even a little, you leave the day feeling steady. You don't go to sleep wondering if you wasted it. You go to sleep knowing you stayed on your path. Think about how different your year could look if you stayed consistent on your low days, not just your high ones. Most people only move forward when they feel good. But what if you moved forward no matter how you felt, even just an inch? That's where real transformation happens. Not in huge leaps, but in repeated steps, even through the hard parts. You have to expect resistance. It's part of the process, but resistance doesn't mean stop. It means push gently. Keep going. Honor your commitment, not your mood. Your mood changes, your goal doesn't. In those tired moments, come back to why you started. You didn't commit to this plan because it would always be easy. You committed because you wanted to change something. You wanted to grow, and growth asks for effort, especially when it's uncomfortable. You don't need more time, you need more follow-through. And that doesn't come from motivation. It comes from building the habit of showing up, no matter how you feel. One small action, one honest step, one quiet win at a time. The truth is, tired days teach you the most. They test your patience, your character, your values. They show you what matters to you. They strip away all the noise and leave one question behind. Will you do what you said you would do? Say yes. Even in the smallest way. Say yes when no one's watching. Say yes when it's not exciting. Say yes when you're tired. Not because you feel strong, but because you are committed, and when 2026 arrives, you'll look back and know that you didn't just move forward on the good days, you built something real on the hard ones. You followed through when it counted most. You didn't wait for perfect energy. You acted anyway. That's how transformation begins, with one solid yes, even when it's hard. Chapter 5. Fix bad days instead of quitting. Every long journey includes days that do not go as planned. That is not a weakness. That is reality. The mistake most people make is believing that a bad day means they are failing. One missed habit, one poor decision, one emotional moment, and suddenly they think the whole plan is broken, so they quit. Not because they had to, but because they did not know how to recover. A bad day does not ruin a year. Quitting does. Human behavior follows patterns. When people feel disappointed in themselves, they often escape instead of correct. They stop tracking. They stop trying. They avoid looking at the plan because it reminds them of what they did not do. This is not laziness. It is emotional protection, but that protection comes at a high cost. Fixing a bad day begins with understanding that mistakes are information. They show you where the system failed. Maybe the plan was too heavy. Maybe the timing was wrong. Maybe emotions took control. None of that means you should walk away. It means you'd adjust. Strong people are not the ones who never mess up. They are the ones who do not turn mistakes into identity. One bad choice does not make you undisciplined. One off day does not make you unreliable. Those labels only stick when you repeat the same response. A bad day often starts small. You wake up late, you rush, you skip one habit, then another, then frustration builds. At some point you think the day is already lost. That thought is dangerous. It gives permission to stop caring. The truth is, a day is not ruined until you decide it is. You can fix a bad day at any point, even late in the evening. One good action does not erase earlier mistakes, but it restores direction. Direction matters more than perfection. Direction keeps you connected to the bigger picture. Quitting usually feels logical in the moment. You tell yourself you will restart tomorrow, or next week, or next month. But restarting is harder than continuing. Every quit creates distance. Every fix creates strength. The goal is not to avoid bad days. The goal is to respond better when they happen. Response is where character is built. Anyone can perform when things are smooth. Very few people stay steady when things go wrong. Fixing a bad day starts with removing judgment. The moment you attack yourself, progress stops. Harsh self-talk does not create discipline. It creates resistance. Calm correction creates progress. Ask simple questions. What went wrong? Why did it happen? What can be done now? These questions move you forward. They turn emotion into action. Sometimes fixing a bad day means doing less, not more. If the day is already heavy, forcing a full routine can backfire. Instead, choose one or two actions that matter most. That keeps the habit alive without creating pressure. You are not trying to prove anything on a bad day. You are trying to stay in the game. Staying in the game matters more than winning that day. There is a powerful shift that happens when you stop quitting on yourself. You begin to trust yourself again. You realize that mistakes no longer end your effort. They simply redirect it. People who succeed long-term are not emotionally dramatic about setbacks. They are practical. They treat errors like maintenance issues. Fix what is broken. Strengthen what is weak. Continue forward. A bad day often reveals where your plan needs support. Maybe you did not sleep well. Maybe your schedule was too tight. Maybe you skipped meals. These are signals. Ignoring them leads to burnout. Adjusting them leads to stability. Quitting gives temporary relief. Fixing gives long-term confidence. Relief fades quickly. Confidence stays. You also need to understand that bad days test your self-respect. When you fix instead of quit, you send a message to yourself that your goals matter even when conditions are not ideal. That message builds inner strength. Do not wait for motivation to return after a bad day. Motivation follows action. Small action brings back clarity. Clarity brings back momentum. There will be days when emotions feel louder than logic. That is normal. On those days, rely on structure. Structure removes the need to feel ready. It guides behavior when feelings are unstable. Fixing a bad day does not mean ignoring feelings. It means not letting them make final decisions. Feelings pass, decisions create direction. One of the most damaging habits is all or nothing thinking. Either everything goes right or nothing matters. That thinking destroys consistency. Life does not work in extremes. Progress is built in small corrections. Even a bad week can be fixed if you respond early. One honest review, one reset, one clear decision. Delay is what turns setbacks into failure. When you fix instead of quit, you shorten recovery time. Instead of needing weeks to restart, you need hours. That difference compounds over a year. You should expect bad days. Planning for them makes you resilient. Decide in advance how you will respond when things go off track. That removes panic when it happens. There is dignity in fixing your mistakes quietly. No announcements, no drama, just correction and movement forward. People often believe discipline means never falling off. Discipline actually means getting back on quickly. Speed of recovery matters more than avoiding mistakes. Every time you fix a bad day, you practice leadership. You lead yourself out of frustration into action. That skill transfers into every area of life. You cannot build a strong year without learning how to recover. Life will interrupt, energy will drop, emotions will fluctuate. Recovery is not optional. It is essential. Do not carry yesterday into today. Review it. Learn from it. Then release it. Carrying guilt wastes energy that could be used to improve. The habit of fixing builds emotional maturity. You stop reacting impulsively. You start responding intentionally. At the end of the year, you will not remember every perfect day. You will remember the days you almost quit and did not. Those days change how you see yourself. Quitting teaches your mind that discomfort ends effort. Fixing teaches your mind that discomfort is temporary. That lesson changes everything. Bad days are not the enemy. Giving up is. Treat setbacks as part of the process, not as proof that you are failing. Fix what you can. Adjust what you must. Continue forward. That is how progress survives real life. That is how a plan lasts an entire year. That is how you arrive at 2026, knowing you did not quit when things got hard. Chapter 6. Repeat small actions every single day. Change rarely happens through one big action. It happens through what you do repeatedly, even when it seems too small to matter. That's the part most people overlook. They think success comes from big effort or sudden breakthroughs, but real progress is quieter. It's found in the small actions you repeat every single day. Not just when you're excited, not just when you're inspired, but especially when life feels normal or even dull. It's easy to get caught up in chasing results. You want to see big movement, fast change, clear wins. But results are not what you control. What you control is what you do today. That's your power. Your life is shaped not by what you want, but by what you repeat. Every action you take is a vote for the person you are becoming. Every healthy meal, every journal entry, every 5-minute walk, every small win, they add up. You may not notice the change immediately, but it's happening, slowly and steadily. That's how you build something real, not through pressure, but through patience. People often say they're not seeing progress, but they're usually only checking the scoreboard. What they forget is that change doesn't show up right away. You don't see the first 10 days at the gym. You don't feel smarter after one chapter. You don't become confident after one new habit. But keep going, and your brain starts to shift. Your body starts to respond. Your choices start to feel different. Repeating small actions isn't about working harder, it's about working consistently. There's a difference. Working hard for one day is easy. Anyone can do that, showing up every day, even for a short time. Even when it's not exciting, that's where the edge is built, and that's what separates those who change their lives from those who stay stuck. The biggest mistake people make is underestimating the power of small. They think if it's not big, it's not worth doing. So they wait. They wait for a better time, a bigger plan, a perfect system. Meanwhile, the people who make progress are the ones doing something simple and small today. Not later. Not next week. Now. Repetition builds rhythm. Rhythm creates momentum. Momentum leads to identity. You no longer have to convince yourself to act. You just do it because that's what you do. It becomes part of how you move through the day. It's also easier to stay consistent with small actions. Big commitments exhaust you quickly. You try to do too much too soon, and your energy burns out. But small actions protect your energy while still building your progress. They're sustainable. You can do them even when you're tired, distracted, or not at your best. And there's another benefit to small daily actions. They reduce overwhelm. If you only focus on the big goal, it feels far away. That gap between where you are and where you want to be starts to feel discouraging. But if you shift your attention to one clear task for today, the pressure lifts. You stop feeling stuck and start feeling in motion. Ask yourself, what is one small thing I can do today that supports the kind of life I want to live? Don't make it dramatic. Don't wait for perfect timing. Just something simple and meaningful. That's enough. If you do that every day, you'll be shocked at how much changes. 10 minutes a day turns into 60 hours a year. One healthy choice a day reshapes your habits. One conversation a day improves your relationships. One page a day becomes a book. It all stacks, but only if you keep repeating. The truth is, your brain learns through repetition. That's how habits form. That's how beliefs are built. That's how you rewire doubt into confidence. Not through one great day, but through hundreds of ordinary ones where you followed through without applause. And yes, there will be days when it feels like nothing is happening. You'll question the point. You'll feel tempted to skip. That's where most people lose the game. Not because they lacked talent, but because they couldn't stay consistent through boredom. The people who win are not the most excited. They're the most stable. They don't chase intensity. They protect their habits. The power of small actions also helps you stay grounded. When life gets chaotic, a simple routine becomes your anchor. You return to it, not because it's fancy, but because it keeps you steady. One walk, one reflection, one healthy meal, one reset. You don't need a full reset every time you feel off. You just need to return to something small you can trust. You'll also learn to enjoy the process more. When you stop needing big results every week, you'll start to take pride in the action itself, the way you showed up, the way you stayed honest. That shift creates a calm sense of control over your life. You stop chasing and start building. You don't need to impress anyone with your progress. You don't need to prove how fast you can change. What matters is that you are showing up in your life fully, quietly, intentionally, one action at a time, one day at a time. Make it simple, make it doable, make it your. Choose actions you can repeat even when you're busy, even when you're emotional, even when motivation is gone. That's the real test. Can you still show up when life isn't helping you? If the answer is yes, you are unstoppable. Start by building a list of 3-5 small actions that matter to you. Not things that sound good, but things that feel right. Actions that match your values and goals. Maybe it's reading, maybe it's stretching, Maybe it's tracking your money. Maybe it's reaching out to someone you care about. Whatever it is, make sure it's small enough that you can do it every single day without burnout. Track it, review it, and be kind to yourself. You won't be perfect. You'll miss some days, but if you keep returning to the routine, you win, because showing up again after a miss is still repetition. It still counts. One day you'll look back and realize how much changed. Not because you had a perfect year, but because you didn't stop. You didn't chase magic. You didn't wait for permission. You just kept going. Quietly. Honestly. Patiently. That's what builds something real. Not noise. Not hype. Just daily action. On repeat. When 2026 arrives, you won't need to hope for change. You'll be living proof that the small things, done every single day, create something big. You won't just talk about growth. You'll be living, and the person you become will thank you for every simple step you took when no one else was watching. Chapter 7. Stay consistent when progress feels slow. There will come a point in your journey where you're doing the work, showing up every day, following your plan, and still wondering why things aren't moving faster. This is one of the hardest moments to face, not because the task is too difficult, but because your effort feels invisible. You're investing your time, your energy, your discipline, and the results just aren't showing up the way you expected. This is where most people start doubting themselves. Not because they don't care, but because progress feels too slow to stay motivated. When progress is slow, your mind starts asking dangerous questions. What's the point? Am I doing this wrong? Why is it taking so long? These questions don't help you, they only feed uncertainty, and when uncertainty builds, it pushes you towards stopping, not because you're weak, but because you've lost sight of why you started. This is why consistency matters more than speed. If you rely on fast results to stay committed, you'll quit the moment the process slows down. But if you commit to the process itself, regardless of how fast things move, you become unshakable. You no longer need things to happen overnight. You just need to know you're still moving forward. Slow progress doesn't mean you're failing, it means you're building something real, something that will last. Quick changes often fade. What stays is built slowly, brick by brick, day by day, and yes, it's hard. It feels unfair. You look around, and it seems like others are flying past you. But what you don't see is how many of those people quit when their fast start runs out of fuel. What you're building is different, it's steady, it's grounded, and most importantly, it's yours. Every time you stay consistent without seeing results, you are training a part of yourself that most people never build. You're developing patience, trust, and long-term thinking. These are skills that go beyond your current goal. They shape how you handle everything else in life, your health, your work, your relationships, your identity. When progress slows down, you need to shift your focus. Stop measuring success by outcomes and start measuring it by actions. Ask yourself, did I do what I said I'd do today? If the answer is yes, that is success. That is progress, even if NIF looks different on the outside. Because here's the truth, the results always come later. You plant seeds, water them daily, and for a long time, nothing seems to happen. Then one day, something small appears, then something stronger. Then it grows. But if you stop watering the seed just because you don't see the plant yet, you'll never see what it could have become. Consistency is a form of belief. It says, I trust that what I'm doing matters, even when I can't prove it yet. That kind of belief gives you power. It keeps you going when your motivation fades. It reminds you that showing up today matters, even if nobody else sees it. If you're tracking your habits, don't just track your wins, track your effort. Track the fact that you followed your plan, even when it was boring, even when you were tired, even when life got in the way. That kind of consistency adds up. Slowly, quietly, powerfully. The people who succeed are not the ones who avoid slow seasons. They are the ones who walk through them without stopping. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to always feel good. You just need to keep showing up for yourself. There will be days when your progress feels invisible. You'll look at your results and feel like nothing has changed. But that's when the real test begins. That's when you decide whether your commitment is based on convenience or on your values. The truth is, you won't always feel progress. Some of the most important growth happens internally. Your discipline gets stronger. Your thinking becomes clearer. Your emotions become steadier. These things don't show up on a chart, but they change everything about how you live. And remember this, slow progress is still progress. One step forward, no matter how small, moves you closer to where you want to be. Even holding the line, staying steady without slipping, is a win. It means you're not going backward. It means you're building a foundation that will hold up when pressure hits. When things slow down, stay connected to your why. Remind yourself why you started in the first place. What were you trying to fix? What kind of life were you tired of living? What kind of person were you trying to become? That purpose matters more than any short-term result. It's okay to feel frustrated. It's okay to question things. But don't let those emotions turn into decisions. Feelings come and go. But consistency is a decision you make in advance. You choose to keep going, not because today feels exciting, but because you know where you're headed. You're not doing this just for results. You're doing this for the kind of person you become, by showing up every day with intention, the kind of person who follows through, the kind of person who keeps promises, the kind of person who stays steady under pressure. And one day, the results will show up. You'll see the numbers shift. You'll feel the energy return. You'll look in the mirror and notice the difference. But by then, something more important will have already happened. You'll know you're someone who doesn't quit just because things take time. That kind of self-respect cannot be bought. It must be earned. And it's earned through repetition, patience, and belief when nothing outside is confirming it yet. So if things feel slow right now, stay with it. Keep moving, keep repeating, keep showing up. Don't change the goal just because the timeline feels uncomfortable. The pace might not be what you expected, but the path is still the right one. You will get there, but only if you refuse to let slow progress convince you to stop. The person you're becoming is built in these moments, the ones where it would be easy to walk away. But you don't. You step, you work, you trust. And when the year ends, you'll realize that the pace didn't matter. What mattered was that you stayed consistent, even when it was slow, even when it was quiet, even when it was hard. That's what built your progress. That's what built your strength. That's what built you. Chapter 8. Adjust the plan as life changes. You can plan your year with structure and precision, but life will still find ways to shift. That's not failure. That's life being what it is. Unpredictable, emotional, sometimes messy, sometimes beautiful, and rarely working in straight lines. You can't control everything around you. What you can control is how flexible you are when things don't go your way. The ability to adjust without quitting is one of the most valuable skills you'll ever build. When most people build a plan, they imagine ideal conditions. They assume they'll always have energy, time, focus, motivation, and when those conditions don't show up, they panic. They feel like the plan is broken. But the truth is, the plan is just a tool, and tools can be reshaped. The goal isn't to follow the exact same structure no matter what. The goal is to keep moving forward, even if the path has to shift. When life changes, you have two choices. You either fight reality and feel stuck, or you adapt your plan and keep momentum. Most people choose the first without realizing it. They try to stick with the same routine, even when it no longer fits. Then they feel overwhelmed. They fall behind, and eventually they stop completely. Not because they lost interest, but they didn't know how to adjust. You have to learn how to check in with your life regularly, weekly, monthly. You ask simple questions. Is this plan still working? Are these habits still realistic? Do these goals still match what I care about? The answers might surprise you. What worked 2 months ago may not work now. What felt important before might not matter anymore. That doesn't mean you're inconsistent. It means you're human. Adjustment is not weakness. It's wisdom. It means you are paying attention to what's happening instead of just forcing things. A strong plan bends, it doesn't break. If your current strategy is causing more stress than progress, it's time to step back and rethink. That's not quitting, that's leadership. Sometimes your environment changes. New responsibilities, a move, a shift in work or family. Sometimes your energy shifts. Maybe you're more tired. Maybe something unexpected happened. When these things show up, the old version of your plan might not fit. And if you try to force it, you'll burn out. That's when you need to take a breath and rebuild the plan around your current reality, not your ideal one. You ask yourself, what's the most important thing right now? What can I realistically do with the time and energy I have? What's the version of my goal that fits today, not yesterday? The best systems are not the ones that look impressive. They are the ones that adapt to your life. If your system can only survive when everything goes right, it's not a system, it's a fantasy. Real systems are flexible. They allow space for life to interrupt, and instead of falling apart, they reshape and continue. There's also emotional change. Maybe your mindset is different than it was at the start of the year. Maybe you're dealing with stress, sadness, doubt. Maybe something personal shifted. That emotional shift might mean your motivation is different. Your needs are different. You have to factor that into your plan. Ignoring emotion doesn't create strength. It creates pressure. And pressure without support leads to collapse. Give yourself the room to make changes without guilt. You're not supposed to push through everything like a machine. You're supposed to move with awareness. Adjusting the plan is not about doing less. It's about doing what works. There's nothing powerful about sticking with something that no longer fits. Real strength is being able to pause, reassess, and rebuild. Maybe your goal needs to be broken down into smaller steps. Maybe your schedule needs more breathing room. Maybe the tools you're using aren't helpful anymore. That's all fine. You're allowed to change things as you go. You're supposed to. One of the smartest things you can do is set a recurring time to review and refine your plan. Once a month, check in. What's working? What's not? Where are the friction points? Where are you losing motivation? Then make the necessary changes. That simple practice can keep you moving all year long. Some people resist adjusting because they feel like it means they failed. They think it means they didn't plan well. That's not true. You can't predict everything, and you don't need to. You just need to stay honest about what's happening now. Flexibility is a skill. And like any skill, it gets stronger the more you practice it. The first time you change your plan, it might feel uncomfortable, but over time, you'll get better at reading your own patterns. You'll know when to shift, and you'll stop feeling guilty about doing it. When life changes, you don't have to start over. You just have to pivot. Sometimes that pivot is small, a change in time, a change in method. Sometimes it's big, a new goal, a different routine. Either way, you're not losing progress, you're preserving it. You're giving your effort a chance to survive real life. Every adjustment is a decision to stay in the game, to not give up just because things got hard. That kind of mindset keeps you grounded through chaos. It keeps your momentum alive even in the middle of challenge. You're not building a perfect year. You're building a resilient one. A year that can handle setbacks, stress and surprises. A year that bends when needed, but keeps moving forward. That kind of year doesn't just happen by chance. It's built by someone who knows how to adjust when the plan stops working. It's okay to outgrow your plan. That means you're learning. That means you're evolving. Don't get attached to what used to work. Stay committed to what works now. Your life is not frozen. Your plan shouldn't be either. Give yourself permission to shift. Give yourself the grace to change direction. You're not behind. You're not broken. You're just adjusting. And if you keep adjusting, you'll keep progressing. By the end of the year, the plan you started with might look different than the one you're following. That's a good thing. That means you stayed connected to real life. That means you responded with awareness instead of resistance. You're not chasing perfection. You're building a process that works even when life doesn't go according to script. That process is what carries you to the finish line, not the first plan, but the plan that keeps evolving with you. Chapter 9. Track daily effort, not big dreams. Big dreams are exciting to think about. They feel powerful when you talk about them. They sound inspiring when you write them down. But they're not what makes your life change. What moves your life forward is the effort you make each day when no one is watching. The quiet discipline, the steady follow-through, the small choices that seem invisible in the moment but build your future step by step. This is where most people go wrong. They spend more time dreaming than doing. They measure progress by how far they still are from the goal instead of how much they actually showed up today. They feel behind not because they're not trying, but because they keep comparing their effort to an ideal finish line instead of looking at the work they've put in. You can't measure success by how fast the results show up. You have to measure it by how consistent your actions are. Tracking your daily effort is how you stay grounded. It's how you stay honest. And most importantly, it's how you build confidence. Because you can't always control results, but you can control your actions. Every day you wake up with a choice, to take a step forward or to stay still. That choice doesn't require a new dream. It requires direction. It requires you to ask one simple question. Did I do what I could today? When you track effort instead of outcomes, you get a clearer picture of your habits, your behavior, and your real level of discipline. Effort doesn't mean doing everything perfectly. It means doing something meaningful with the time you have. If you wanted to read and only had 5 minutes, but you still read, that's effort. If you planned to work out and only had energy for a short walk, but you still moved, that's effort. That effort counts more than any vision board or goal list. Tracking big dreams alone can become discouraging. If all you see is the gap between now and where you want to be, you'll start to feel like you're failing, when in reality, you might be doing exactly what you need to. You just haven't given yourself credit for showing up. Effort tracking is a way to stay connected to what matters. It reminds you that consistency is more important than excitement, that progress is not about speed, but direction, that real change comes from momentum, not motivation. Write it down. Don't rely on memory. Keep a simple log. Not of how much you achieved, but of whether you did the work. A check mark, a sentence, a note, something you can look at and say, yes, I showed up today. That kind of tracking builds trust with yourself. When you track effort, patterns start to appear. You learn when you work best. You learn what habits are strong and which ones need support. You can see where you're slipping before it becomes a full breakdown. This isn't about judgment, it's about awareness. People say they want to improve, but they don't pay attention to how they actually live. They measure their lives in highlights, milestones, achievements, finished goals, but those are rare moments. The real story of your life is told in the regular days, the ones that feel boring, the ones that don't get attention. Those days matter more than you think. Effort Tracking also helps remove guilt. If a result didn't show up yet, but you did your part, you don't need to feel discouraged. You didn't fail. You're still building. Most of the frustration people feel is because they're chasing the dream and ignoring the process. The process is where your power is. The dream is just a direction. The process is what you live with. Your habits will either build your identity or break your belief in yourself. When you track effort, you're keeping those habits visible. You're reminding yourself what you're doing and why. That reminder helps you stay committed, especially when progress feels slow. It's also humbling. When you track effort honestly, you see the truth. You stop lying to yourself about how consistent you are. You realize how often you said I'll do it tomorrow. But that honesty is helpful, because once you see the truth, you can improve it. The people who get results don't have stronger dreams. They have stronger follow-through, and that follow-through is built on daily action, not once in a while bursts of motivation. Effort is what gets you through the tough days. Effort is what keeps you moving when you're tired, distracted or discouraged. And don't let the simplicity fool you. One small action tracked every day can change how you see yourself. It makes you feel responsible. It makes you feel present. You're not just going through the motions. You're aware. You're focused. You're showing up for your own life. Over time, those tiny check-ins turn into a powerful story. You can look back and see months of steady effort. That record gives you proof that you're not stuck. You're not lazy. You're not failing. You've been building something quietly, slowly, honestly. Effort doesn't lie. You either did the work, or you didn't. That kind of clarity is freeing. You no longer need to wonder if you're doing enough. You can see it. You can feel it. You can trust it. And when you do have a breakthrough, when the results finally show up, you'll know they weren't random. They came from those ordinary days, when you tracked the effort that no one else saw. You don't have to wait for the end of the year to feel successful. You can feel proud today, if you know you gave your best. Even if it wasn't perfect, even if it was messy, what matters is that you tried, that you kept going. Big dreams don't build themselves. They need structure. They need systems. They need effort. That effort might not always feel rewarding right away, but over time it becomes the difference between those who talk about changing and those who actually change. So make the shift. Stop chasing only the big win. Start noticing your small wins. Start measuring what you can control. Your effort. Your consistency. Your ability to act even when you don't feel like it. Track what you're doing, not just what you're dreaming. And by the time the dream shows up, you'll already be the kind of person who knows how to keep it. Because you didn't just imagine it, you worked for it. One step at a time. One day at a time. All year long. Chapter 10. Enter 2026, knowing you showed up. When the final day of 2025 comes, you won't remember every detail of the year. You won't recall every habit, every step, every single effort. But what will stay with you is the feeling, the sense that you either showed up fully or you didn't. That quiet reflection is what counts more than any single outcome. Because when the new year begins, it's not the goals that carry over. It's who you've become through the work you did. Showing up is not just about doing what's on your to-do list. It's about being present in your life. It's about deciding each day to take yourself seriously. Not perfectly, but honestly. Not for show, but because it matters to you. When you show up, you're telling the world and yourself that your time matters, your growth matters, your effort matters. Entering 2026, knowing you showed up isn't about checking every box or reaching every milestone. It's about being able to look yourself in the mirror and say, I gave it what I had. On the good days, on the tough ones, on the days that felt like nothing was working. It's the trust that builds when you continue anyway. Most people start the year with energy and fade when it gets hard, but you're not aiming to impress the first month. You're aiming to finish with pride. That pride doesn't come from sudden success. It comes from small choices made over and over, showing up when it was easier not to, doing the work when you didn't feel like it, holding the line when nobody else could see your effort. You don't need to be loud about your discipline. You don't need to post it or prove it. What matters is what you know about yourself at the end. Did you avoid yourself? Or did you face your patterns and take responsibility? Did you hide from the hard parts? Or did you show up when it counted the most? There's no need for drama, no need for perfection. The real goal is presence. That quiet kind of presence that says, I was here, I tried, I meant it. You don't fake that. You earn it. Your routines didn't need to be flawless. Some days, your best effort might have looked like just getting out of bed and doing one small task. That still counts, because showing up doesn't mean you were always strong. It means you were always real. You didn't wait for perfect energy. You worked with what you had. Maybe some of your goals shifted. Maybe some plans didn't work out. That's not failure. That's life. What matters is that you stayed in the process. You adapted. You didn't walk away just because the outcome didn't come quickly. That kind of steadiness builds inner strength. You won't regret the effort you gave to yourself. You won't wish you skipped more days. You won't look back and say, I should have done less. You'll be proud that you stayed focused when distractions were everywhere. You'll be proud that you didn't let temporary feelings control your long-term future. Consistency isn't something you chase. It's something you create through effort, through rhythm, through patience. You didn't need motivation every day. You needed discipline. And when discipline was hard, you needed purpose. That purpose is what kept you from disappearing when the days got overwhelming. You're not walking into 2026 hoping you can change. You're walking in knowing you already are. The change started when you decided to stop waiting for the right time, when you stopped chasing perfection and started practicing intention. The version of you that began the year is different from the one standing here now, and not because everything went smoothly, but because you earned your growth. Some days you probably didn't want to keep going. Some days you thought about giving up. That's normal. But you didn't quit. You paused maybe. You adjusted. You struggled. But you didn't give up. And that decision matters more than you think. It's easy to look back at a year and focus on what didn't happen. But that's not how progress works. Progress is built through every moment you kept your word, even when the results were slow. Progress is what happens when you say, this is worth doing, even when no one sees it but you. When you reflect on the year, think about who you were becoming each time you showed up. That's the real reward. The new habits, the stronger mindset, the better emotional control, the improved focus. These things aren't trophies you hold. They're the foundation you walk on. They're the proof that your time wasn't wasted. You made choices that built something deeper than just external success. You created structure. You earned trust with yourself. You became someone who can rely on their own effort. That is worth more than any short-term outcome, because that strength stays with you into every part of your life. Your work, your relationships, your health, your goals. As the year ends, let go of what didn't go exactly right. Release the moments you wish had been better. Forgive the days you slipped. What matters now is that you've made it through with self-respect. You built a life you were present for. You followed through. You showed up. You don't need a standing ovation. You don't need to compare your path to anyone else. You just need to know deep down that you gave your effort an honest chance. That's how you enter a new year with peace. not with pressure to start over, but with clarity that you are already in motion. That clarity is powerful. It gives you freedom from regret. It gives you momentum. It gives you space to dream even bigger, because now you know you can trust yourself to follow through. Your life doesn't change from one perfect day. It changes when you stop quitting, when you keep showing up through uncertainty, when you realize you don't need to feel ready to take action. You just need to act with purpose. So as 2026 begins, don't hope for change. Know that it's already happening. Know that you've been doing the work, and know that you don't need to start from zero. You're already way ahead, because you stayed in it. You're not hoping this year will be different. You're entering it with evidence, with growth, with strength, and most of all, with the kind of pride that only comes from doing what you said you'd do. Every single time it mattered most, you showed up. You stayed honest. You made the year count. And that's something no one can take from you.